It's 5:36. We'll call the meeting to order. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
And now our superintendent will lead us in prayer.
Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather here today, this afternoon. We hope that you keep everyone safe on their way back home. Help us to make some good decisions about our summer maintenance projects. And Lord, we just ask that you keep all the kids and staff safe this summer as they're out and about vacationing. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
No one here to talk about any of the items on the agenda, so we'll go straight on to the action items, summer maintenance projects.
So I'll give a kind of a brief overview of the summer maintenance projects, and that's why we needed to meet with you guys tonight, is so we can get them going, because they're kind of big ticket items. We couldn't just do them. We needed your permission because of the dollar amount. And so first of all, in our fund balance, after you take out all the things that money's committed for, like we've got to save this much for this and this much for that, there's about 3.4 million available. And so we wanted to look at just the 0.4 as far as some money to play with. And it's turning out, after looking at the bids that Leanne will look at later tonight and tell you about, it's not going to even take that much either. And so I've got some estimations, but to kind of give y'all an idea of what we wanted to do this summer, the primary school needs a fire alarm system. It does not have a fire alarm system. It's the only campus that does not have that. And since it's about 50 years old, we thought it's about time. And so we thought that was a high priority. That just kind of came on Toby's radar here recently, and we thought, gosh, we need to get that. That's important. And so high school, we've got our new band directors coming. The carpet in the band hall is terrible. If you've been in there, it's really gross, and it gets lots of wear and tear. The instrument let out of the saliva. It takes a lot of abuse. And so I won't go into any more detail than that we really need to maybe redo that carpet. Mr. Trammell, that was the one thing he asked us for when he came on. He said, ooh, if I could get some carpet, that would be great.
Does he want carpet or does he want tile?
He would, for sound, he'd like carpet. And so
whatever he wants.
Yeah. Junior high, until they start in earnest on the new part, we were wanting to start kind of sprucing up the old existing part, starting at the top and working our way down. And so if you've been in the junior high, the ceiling tiles, after decades of rain and different leaks and different things, it starts to look real crummy. And so we were wanting to tackle classroom lighting and campus ceiling grid replacement. And so we put those estimations next to each one, and Leanne and Toby will go into more detail as we go, but we recommend the board approve the use of fund balance dollars to conduct these important summer maintenance projects. And then my next item is going to be talking about reimbursing ourselves with the bond money. So if we have bond money left over, it can reimburse this here back into the fund balance. Because if you've been reading anything in the news recently about these Texas school districts, so many of them are operating in the red, and their fund balance is getting depleted next to nothing. One little school district, I think it was Crystal City, $500 is all they have to their name in their bank account. $500, that's it. And so we want to make sure that we don't get in that sort of predicament as well. So I've made the recommendation for the use of fund balance dollars to conduct these summer maintenance projects. Do y'all have any questions about any of them?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Corporate $37,000. I'm not questioning.
The actual bid that's going to win though later on is
For the what?
band hall carpet. What did
It was 23, wasn't it?
23?
Yeah.
So we had some estimations.
Okay. I'm sorry.
And then when the bids came in, it was actually lower.
Yeah, I think what y'all got in your board pack is just the ballpark stuff we were
Yeah.
initially.
Yeah.
But we
So-
got some better.
So you also have to consider, Calvin, there's an upstairs, there's all the side rooms, not just the big room.
Well, he said do 23. I
Yeah.
was just I'm just like,
Yeah.
so do you know exactly how much how much you actually gonna pay?
I can tell
Are you fixing to tell us that?
Yeah.
So I need to shut up?
That is not, that one's below 25,000, so
Right.
that I didn't have to do the bid, he just had to get 3 quotes, so I haven't
Well,
seen it.
And I couldn't really tell you until y'all kind of proved that's been the market. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we have a low bid is, but
Yeah.
I can tell you here, bear with me just a minute.
Okay, I'm sorry, I should have asked you.
No,
I should just waited.
You're good.
Curious mind wanted to know.
That's why I'm here.
Anybody else have a question?
I do, is that to remove all of the existing and then replace, or,
On the carpet?
yes?
Yes. that's
They're
pulling
gonna
up.
do it?
Yes, demoing the existing and putting the new down.
So I have a question about that, like, the people that, like our maintenance, our grounds people and stuff like that, is that something that we would ever rip the carpet out? And
We could.
like, people were already paying?
Yeah,
rip that out.
I mean, I don't know if the total bill was $27,480 for them to replace all the carpet. And it might have, see if it got a line item here for the,
So I was wondering, how much they charge
I
us?
could, I mean,
Rip
I
it
could
out.
find that out. I mean, it's pretty easy to take up, but it's just a time factor. I mean,
It's likely not very much money, but
yeah, I mean, I can see what he
Just
would do
curious.
that. If that's something you
I'd
want.
like to ask about the cross-country course. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I've never been around it in my life.
Yeah.
But just driving by, it looks like there's places in it that it's really getting deteriorated. Is there anything that we
The
have?
county looks at it pretty frequently, and,
We had them out to do some repairs on it here a while back. It really, the original plan for that was to keep, each year we were gonna put another layer and try to get that built up. It just got the initial layer that they put down, just that one layer of asphalt. And they planned on, each year they were gonna keep building it up, but we did it the one time and that was really all
Well,
it
it's
was.
just a couple of months away and they're gonna start cross-country anyway.
It
That's
was
something
just,
we need to look at.
does Philip think it needs to be looked at?
I haven't talked to Philip, so I mean, but just driving and looking, it looks like it's washed out and it's got bad spots in it. And
Yeah, we can check it.
just from the road, we might wanna look at something like that.
Mayor, I thought the original agreement was we were taking care of the grounds and the county was doing the track.
Yeah, they've been helping us a lot. That's Justin Latham that has done that quite frequently. Because we even have like an MOU with them, I think, where they
Right.
help. But we've started having to pay them a little bit too,
yeah,
I
it's
think.
Okay.
the money aspect, I think like the last time we talked, it was 12 or 13,000.
Yeah, it's not totally free anymore, which
Yeah.
we understand, because
Yeah.
but they did do it for free for a long time.
Well, now, we put crushed marble or something down on that thing 3 years ago or whatever.
They talk about that decomposed granite, but this is actual, it's got a little layer of base and then they put, just like you would a road, it's just got a asphalt and then, some pea gravel on top of it, so.
Okay.
It was-
We'll check on it.
It would
Okay.
be, if
Appreciate
they
it.
keep
Thank you,
doing
sir.
that, it would build, you get it.
No,
built
I
up where
hadn't talked to
it-
Philip, I just observed it when I was driving down Hornet Way or whatever.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Do I hear a motion to accept? Okay. Got it? Charles? Second?
Emily?
Go right here. Anybody else have a question? All in favor? Okay, now we'll take them one at a time.
So, Mr. Grubbs is here, Brian, and he's gave us the wording for the reimbursement. And so my second and last item before Leanne gets into all of them is specifically is that we had to have some exact verbiage on the agenda, that long on B, consideration and action on a resolution. And my motion, I move to approve the district's reimbursement resolution, and that's on the next page. It's just a short little thing where basically, Brian, correct us if I'm wrong, if there's money left over from the bond project, then it's in the same vein, we would just reimburse ourselves out of that money, because it's helping the same types of facilities, things that we had mentioned in the bond.
It also allows you to spend the money now if you needed to and reimburse yourself when we actually get the closing of the bond sale, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. You can go ahead and spend, you don't have to wait on the bonds to get them, so.
like we said, we've got some money to play with in fund balance, and so we didn't want to do anything super risky, and so we do have the money. And as you're about to hear, the bids came in a lot lower than what we were expecting, quite a bit lower, so we were like very pleasantly surprised. So I move to approve the district's reimbursement resolution.
Do I hear a motion? Okay, Calvin, second. Emily? Okay. Anybody else have a
I
question?
have a question about that.
Yes, sir.
We've talked about if we had money left over, we would use it in some other areas. Are we gonna pay ourselves back before we use that money in other areas? Or are we gonna use what money we have for those things and do that left over?
Well, my idea was that we would go ahead and use money out of the fund balance right now to start some of these projects, and then when the bond comes in and after all the construction's done, pay ourselves back. But this would be things for the junior high to help the existing building that the bond wasn't exactly, more cosmetic stuff. Flooring, ceiling, stuff like that. But all the other stuff is still on the table. The things that we made the campaign promises for, like
Yeah, and then we said, well, if there's money left over, we're gonna do this too, you know, a new roof on the.
No, that's
or
still on
whatever.
the to be
We're
done.
gonna still do all of those
Yes.
things, and then,
Yes.
and when all that's paid for, then the
Yeah.
excess, we can pay
Right.
ourselves.
So our thought is that once all the things that we've talked about that we campaigned for the bond, the junior high, all the fine arts stuff, the turf on baseball and softball, the roof on the intermediate, that's all stuff that we have to do, and we plan on doing it. So.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, now we go to C, request for proposal, junior high campus interior lighting.
All right, well, we put out these 3 bids for everything but the carpet. We did not have to do a request for proposal for the carpet because of its small amount that it was. So that's why Toby has 3 quotes for that, and he'll be able to talk to you more about that if you have any questions. But the lighting and the ceiling grid is in the same building, the same location, which is junior high. So anything over $50,000 has to go out for a bid. And so for 14 days, and so it's the whole project, so to speak. So our lighting is actually only $13,350, but because it's part of that bigger project, we had to go out to bid for that as well. So we got 2 people to bid for the lighting fixture replacement, so it's the labor only. Toby already has all of the new lights. And we had Bartlett Electric and Bays Electric. And Bartlett came in at $14,500 and Bays Electric came in at $13,350. And these were both companies that work with Toby all the time, and they're out here all the time, and they both came out, walked the job, bid the job, so we're feeling very comfortable with choosing Bays Electric because they were the lowest bid. So my recommendation to you tonight for the lighting part is to present that to Bays Electric as the winning bid.
We had to get the board packet paperwork in a timely manner so Mackenzie wouldn't yell at us. And so the bids didn't come in until Thursday and Friday.
Correct.
And so we were giving approximations on this. So so for this one, it's $13,350
That is correct.
from Bays Electric. That's the recommendation.
Do I hear a motion to accept that bid? Okay. Boyd, do I hear a second? Okay, Calvin, any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Junior high, grid and tile ceiling.
So this one also, we did all of these Thursday and Friday. We expected this one to be in and around 200,000. We had 4 contractors bid on taking down the ceiling tiles in the grid system and putting up new ones in the junior high, existing junior high. But our bids came in some higher and some lower than 200,000. But the winning bid that we feel is the winning bid is Everett's Acoustic for $126,337, which is quite a bit lower than what we were anticipating. We had some come in. We had another one at 209,000. We had one at 398,000, and we had one at 435,000. So big differences, and really we looked through them, and really it's the difference between a local in the area and the big cities have a lot higher bids, it looks like, than what our local guys do. So because of that, we would like to propose that we accept Everett's Acoustics as the winning bid for the ceiling and tile grid replacement for the
And
junior
they're
high.
local?
They are Belton?
I think Belton, where they come
Belton,
from.
yeah.
Do I hear a motion? Calvin, do I hear a second? Emily? All in favor? Okay. Primary campus.
All right, so for our alarm system, we had 4 also put in a bid, and they were all over the place too. We were expecting somewhere around 200,000. We had one bidder come in at 108,000, but he was missing the bid packet, he was missing any of the details. He gave us one sheet, so technically he couldn't even be in the running because he didn't give the actual stuff that he needed to. But we had, the next one came in, Impact Fire came in at 115,000, which was a lot less, which was a lot lower. Pace Protection came in at 180,000, and Everon came in at 463,000. So we are recommending that we go with Impact Fire, which is the 115,000, as our contractor to do the fire alarm system at the primary.
Do I hear a motion to accept that one? Calvin, a second. Okay.
Where are they
Floyd,
from?
any further questions about that?
Yeah, they're from Waco.
Before we get all
What
started,
was their name?
Impact Fire,
so I'm just asking, after we vote on these, they can start immediately, am I correct?
They're ready to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's
One of them
it.
probably here tomorrow.
the lighting
That's how
has
you
to,
do it.
the lighting has to go before the grids. And we need all that done before the bond gets going and all that gets going. So we had a 7-day start on the lighting and a 14-day start on the ceiling grid. The fire alarm system at primary, we just asked that they be done before school started. So, but we've got everybody ready to go. So assuming that y'all will give us your blessing.
Any
Can
more?
you say again who was doing the tile?
The ceiling grid is Everett Acoustics. So we were happy that the last 2 bids came in way under what we were anticipating them to come in under.
So if you would went on all these right here, so what are you gonna come in, how much more are you gonna save?
Because they were lower,
Yeah,
Well, there were about 80,000 less on each of those projects, I'd say, 70 to 80,000.
so 160.
I think sometimes
But-
those companies that, they just want to see if you'll accept it. Well, we'll say 500,000, just to see if you'll go for it, especially if they're coming from a big city. I think they just want to see if you'll fall for it.
They really have spread across the board.
Yeah.
well, no, my question I was asking maybe is with all these projects, y'all projected, and what is it gonna come in, do you know? How much
To
will-
add these up, like the
These?
115,000
Yes.
and the
For-
126, so it's 149, and then another 13,000. So 249,
I don't have a calculator.
49, I know, I'm
262.
we had, yeah, somewhere around 263. And we had 410,000
Oh, my.
budgeted.
Oh, that's a really good job, you did a good job.
All in favor? Okay, TASB Energy Fuel Pool.
Okay, our fuel pool, we normally bring this to you in March, but because of all the volatility, TASB was holding off. So we've always been part of this fuel pool for the last several years, where we lock in a price, and that's what we get all of our fuel at. And so last year we locked in and we thought it was a little high, but the way it went this year, it really saved us some money here in the spring that we were part of it. And so they waited and they waited and they waited and they waited, and so they finally feel like they can't wait any longer. And so what they're requesting is that we do a fuel pool for just the fall semester. From September to December is what TASB is doing. And so they're asking by Wednesday who wants to be a part of the pool. So right now they have pool cap prices at $315 for unleaded and $385 for diesel. So it may come in a little higher, a little lower than that, but that's the highest it would go. So I talked to Chris over at the transportation department, and he said, that's really good. I don't know that we could do any better going anywhere else. So my recommendation to y'all is that we go ahead and get in the TASB pool for just the fall semester. They're hoping to come back out with a spring that will be even less. But right now, those prices are pretty decent, even with what y'all are looking at the pumps every day.
You know, the volatility in Iran, it just, every day at the pump, it's up and down, up and down.
So they waited as long as they could, and so we're only doing it for half a year right now. So I'll have to bring it back to y'all in November or December timeframe, what it looks like then, but they're hoping it's down by then. So we're only locking in for half a year, one semester. So my recommendation is that we get in the fuel pool with them and try to save ourselves as much money as
If
we
the
can.
price goes below that, you would get the lower rate?
So right now, they're asking who wants to be in the pool. These are the caps. That means it won't be any higher, right? But depending on how many of us get in the pool, depends on where, then they'll go out for bid and they'll get that locked price. So we know it won't be higher than $315 and $385, but
Okay.
we don't know where it's gonna lock
But
lower
if it
than
comes
that.
in lower than 385, you would get the like 380 or? Okay.
Once we're locked in, yes. Now, it won't go any lower than that, but it'll go whatever we lock in. So I recommend that we jump in with the fuel pool for the fall semester and hopefully save us some money.
It's always paid off.
It has always paid off. It really paid off this spring. I was surprised
Yeah.
because we were locked into summer prices from last year.
It's just so
Nice.
much
It
less
saved us.
risky doing this.
And the more people that get in, the better price they get.
What was our diesel price? I'm sorry, I don't remember. that.
Last year,
Yeah. Where were we at?
I don't know.
Oh,
I
okay.
would have to go back and look. I can't tell you right now.
Offhand, I can't remember.
This says currently to date, it was $107,000 that they spent on fuel.
Oh, I might have had it written in here. I do have it written in here. 25, we were capped at 279 for diesel and 259 for unleaded. So we paid 279 for diesel all through the spring.
Yeah, $1 a gallon cheap. Yeah.
Hurry.
Sure does.
Do I hear I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna ask, Brian is here for a myriad of any financial questions you may have. Brian, do you have anything you wanna add or about any of these items we've gone over?
They all look good. Bids are lower and
Yeah.
fuel's cheaper. It's not that it's cheap, but I think that all these are great.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion to accept okay, Charlie, a second? Calvin, all in favor? Okay, it is now 5:59, we'll go to executive session.
Brian, we can, do you need us to sign some stuff?
No, I was just gonna go over a quick just summary of our bond sale and answer questions. 'Cause
Yeah.
I will be back in August, but, first off, congratulations on the successful elections. This is really a quick just summary of our plan of finance. And it's designed to answer any questions that you have for me this evening, because when I do come back to you at your August regular meeting, I'll have a committed, locked-in interest rate to share with you. Just as a reminder, at the top of the page, just a review of the bond election itself. The voters approved 26 million, with the expectation for the INS tax rate to remain at 20 cents. Back when you had to call for the election, we assumed the taxable value of 1.1 billion for 25-26, with growth at 75 million over the next 5 years. We assumed also an interest rate at the time of 4.75 and the use of a portion of your INS fund balance as needed. The preliminary values have come in. They're a little bit lower than our $75 million in growth expectation, but I'll show you the cash flows in a moment. The good news is that our interest rates are lower. So we try to make conservative assumptions, whether it be the tax rate or the interest rate, so that when it's all said and done, when we sell the 26 million, you're able to set the INS tax rate at its current rate or lower. The second bullet, anytime we do sell bonds, you're going to be doing so with the AAA rating on those bonds based on the permanent school fund guarantee. That is the highest credit quality rating that will allow you to borrow at the lowest possible interest rate. You do have a very strong underlying credit rating of a AA3 by Moody's. As part of our bond sale process, we will have a conference call with Moody's and the administration where they will go in and they will ask questions about the finances and the tax base and the elections and so forth. So we will have another assigned credit rating to present to the buyers of your bonds when we get to that point. So the third bullet, our plan is to issue the entire 26 million over the course of this summer and next, with the majority of that coming this summer. I know the district is working on with the construction individuals to find out exactly how much money that you need as a district, basically from today's date through September of next year, when we get a new certified value and can sell the remaining. Right now, I've got a placeholder that is approximately 20 million. So we will have a locked in committed interest rate on 20 million of the 26 million, and then we'll come back and sell the balance next summer after we see another look at the taxable values and also have an update of the timing of your construction projects. So you've adopted the reimbursement resolution this evening. That, again, just as a reminder, allows you to begin work on any of these projects. And then when we go through the bond sale process, I will be back to you at your August 17th regular meeting with a locked-in committed interest rate on the amount that we sell this summer for you to review and approve. Everything at that point then goes to the Attorney General's office for their review and approval of not only the bond election, but the bond sale. So with an August 17th sale, at the bottom of page 1, you'll actually receive the construction fund deposit on September 15th. And it's going to be that time that you will have access to the 20 million that we're planning to sell this summer. The second page is a look at, again, these are just very preliminary cash flows, but it's proving up the issuance of the full 26 million at the current tax rate. So under column 2, you have your outstanding debt service currently. Column 3 represents the 20 million that we're planning to sell this summer at an assumed interest rate of about 50 basis points higher than where we currently are, okay? We would then come back in the summer of 27, again, after we see another July certified value, and sell that balance. And when it's all said and done, your new debt service profile would be under column 5. So we're better than what we expected in terms of interest rate, and we're still at the same payback term that you presented to the voters. Now, column 6 is the amount of money that you get back from the state on your hold harmless money. So when they raise the homestead exemptions up from 140,000 to 180, you actually get money sent back to you. Column 6 represents those monies. And then column 7 represents the use of, as needed, portions of your existing INS fund balance, which you have a very healthy INS fund balance. Again, those monies can only be used to make bond payments. So as we move through the sale of the bonds and we get the new taxable values each and every year, we have on paper just an assumed drawdown as needed, which helps you ultimately balance the INS tax rate under column 11 at 20 cents, which is what you told the voters. So if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer those right now. Again, none of this is in place, but it will be, I will have a similar summary to share with you in August with a final cash flow on the amount of bonds that we sell this summer.
Your current homestead exemption's 140.
Yes, sir.
Is it going to 180?
No, not officially, no.
Okay.
It will not surprise me when the session begins in January of this next year if there's not bills in there suggesting that we increase that again. They've done it the last few times. So, but right now you're correct. It's at 140.
Okay.
But again, I just want to answer any questions that you have so that when I do come back in August, we will be looking for approval of the bond sale itself with the locked-in committed interest rate.
So overall, Brian, you're feeling good about everything?
I am. You know, the preliminary values that we got were a little lower, but what we're seeing throughout the state is the amount of homeowners that are protesting their value has increased over the last 2 summers. But when we actually get through the certification and the protest process, we're seeing that number being reduced. So your taxable value that I'm showing on paper here could end up being higher than what I'm illustrating for you, but we just don't know. And that's why we won't be back to you until your August meeting after we get the July certified value, so that I can point to exactly what that figure is going to look like next year.
And so after you come back, that's when they're gonna start going from project to project or whatever, start.
Yes, sir.
So there's nothing gonna be done until after August.
That's right.
Is this saying we'll have it paid off by 2046?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything outstanding plus the 26 million, because we told the voters we had it on a 20-year payback term.
And what is it a month that we're gonna pay?
So your annual, you pay you make bond payments twice a year, every 6 months. So your estimate for each of the individual series, so for example, column 3, that's an estimate of your total annual payment each and every year. But when it's all said and done, column 5 is our most important. That's combining everything that's outstanding plus the entire 26 million. Column 5 would be the aggregated version of that.
But for the last few years, we've been paying quite a bit more.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
we're
absolutely.
way ahead of the game.
You bet. You have done a great job of using, in advance of the election, when you knew that you needed to approach, using extra funds to pay off principal, leading into it, reducing interest costs, which has helped you approach the voters and not have to raise the tax rate.
And a couple of our other outstanding bonds will be paid off here in the next couple of years.
Correct.
And we had enough to make that additional payment this year also, but we held it
Mhm.
for right now to see if we were going to need it before the end of the school year, depending on the bond sold.
So
We've
which
got
one
that
is-
extra money in there.
I'm sorry, which one is paid off first, the elementary school?
We paid.
Somebody asked me, and I,
The elementary was on 2 bonds. One of them has been paid off, and I think the other one matures more quickly than the high school. So it should be finishing off elementary, then high school, and then the junior high.
Yeah, so the bonds that were sold in 2014 will be paid off in 2034. And then the bonds that were issued for new construction in 2020 are paid off in 2035. So I don't have the specifics on which project was tied to each financing, but
It was the elementary, was in 2014.
Yeah, you can see how it drops too after 2035.
With what we know right now, what do we project the next bond is gonna look like? Like, what are we looking into the future at, primary, or, I mean, what can we imagine?
We probably
Our
need
next
to,
bond that will raise?
yeah, we probably need to look at a more formal, like actually written, long-term construction plan. We've been hesitant to do that just because we've not had the money, or we didn't want to articulate some grandiose thing. But I think now we could probably look at the future, and I would think it would probably be trying to get 6th grade over to junior high. That's the next step. And so the Huckabee architects are designing this right now to where it can come over in the future, to where they've got a blank spot to move the library and to enlarge the cafeteria and all those sorts of things. They call that the long-range facilities plan. So we need to make one of those. It could include things like swapping the press box and some of those smaller projects we've talked about.
any other questions?
Well, we
I appreciate your time, and I
Yeah.
will be back to you in August.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
Brian.
you.
Be careful driving back home.
Okay, it's 6:10, and we're going to executive session.